class, this is Mrs. Garver. Welcome to AOC and English 9. Before I go any further, I want to apologize for not being here with you this morning, but this sweet little girl is starting kindergarten today, and she wanted her mommy with her. And, of course, I wanted to be with her as she starts her very first day of school, so I appreciate you understanding. But before we get to class rules, let me introduce myself a little bit further. I'll start with my family, since they are obviously the most important people in the world to me. First, there's my husband, Eddie. He is a voiceover actor, and we've been married for 7 years. Then there's Bethany, who is 5 and is starting kindergarten today. She wants to be a springboard diver, and we are actually just currently working on getting her to learn how to swim. So we'll see where she wants to go after that. Then there's Evan. He's 2, and this little guy has more energy than a room full of 2-year-olds, but he is just so much fun to be around. He smiles all the time. He is actually completely deaf, so we use sign language at our house as well as English. But over a year ago, he got cochlear implants, and if you don't know what this means, it basically just is like a really high-tech hearing aid, so he can actually hear us when we talk to him, and he talks right back to us. He has signs as he talks as well. And when his technical devices are off, he doesn't hear anything, but when they're on, he often hears a lot better than I do. And this is me. I've been teaching for 17 years. I have a bachelor's in creative writing from Long Beach State and a master's degree in literature from CSUN. I've traveled all over the world, somewhere between 16 and 18 countries. I've definitely lived in England for a summer, been to Egypt, been to New Zealand, all over Europe. I love to travel. I haven't traveled since I've had my kids because it's expensive, and traveling big trips with a 2-year-old is not an easy task. I have been at AOC since the second year it opened, and I think we're going on 12 or 13 years. I am the American Sign Language Club advisor, and that's where we learn signs, practice signs, learn about deaf culture, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in sign language or learning more about it, or you know some, all levels of signing are welcome. So that stuff will be in the bulletin, and it'll tell you when we meet. I'm also the advisor for a group called Project Linus, and we are a group that makes blankets for critically ill and traumatized children. And these are some blankets of the that we've made, and some of the kids making them. So males and females, welcome, and we'll have some more announcements about that. Hi everyone. It's me. I am sitting in my husband's recording booth. It's in a closet in our house, so it's not super exciting, but still kind of cool. I wanted to take a moment to introduce the lovely woman who is helping me out today, Mrs. Blake, if she hasn't introduced herself. Hi, Mrs. Blake. Good to see you. And she is actually our department chair. She's incredibly important and so wonderful, and she helps us all so much. So you will hopefully all get to know her at one point or another. At this point, I'd like to ask Mrs. Blake if you would pass out the course orientations. If you already have, then let this play through. If you haven't, then pause me, and I will get the screen going so that we can start talking about the course expectations. This is your English 9 course orientation. You should all have this in front of you. And this is a very important document because it helps you understand the expectations, the guidelines, the rules, all that sort of thing for English 9. And what will happen is eventually a lot of these rules will carry through 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Our English department is very good at making sure we do things as similarly as possible when it comes to rules and expectations, so that you're more comfortable as you continue on through the classes. So the first part here is telling you this is important, and if you have questions, to contact me. The class is an entire year. You and I will be together for a year. This is great because it gives me a chance to really get to know you and your writing. And I grade you against your improvement, and that is helpful because it gives you a chance to grow and earn a higher grade for growing. The English curriculum at AOC is a little more rigorous than some people are initially used to, but we have some different expectations than sometimes the other schools have. Like the other schools, we're getting you ready for the California exit exam called the CASE, and we are also getting you ready for the CST exams, which are your STAR exams. On top of that, we have to get you ready for college classes because you start college classes as a freshman right now. So I have to get your writing skills at a certain level so when you take those classes and you're writing essays for your professors, you feel a lot more comfortable. The standards section talks about the expectations of the state. There are various things that they say we have to teach you, so I follow them. And so this first section in English 9 requirements tells you all of the books that we're going to read, and you do not need to go buy anything. Everything is provided for you. The first book is the massive green book. I will tell you on the class website, I'll show you the class website later, when you need to bring it, if you need to bring it, and often if we're doing a short story, I try to have an online copy available for you so you can choose to just print out the story if you have a printer at home, or if you want to print in our lab, our computer lab here, it's 5 cents a page, and that way you don't have to carry a heavy book around. We do not have a class set of textbooks yet. I'm working on trying to get it for you. The rest of the books we'll read throughout the rest of the school year. And again, please don't go out and spend all your money on these. You don't need them. Uh, Students are required to keep a notebook of reading and lecture notes. I don't have a specific system in mind. I don't check your notebook, but you want to have your notes with you of whatever units we're working on at that time. And if you're ever wondering, hey, can I take this out of my notebook, just ask me and I'll let you know. All in-class coursework is to be written in dark blue or black ink only. You'll hear a lot of jokes about this from your sophomore friends that you'll make. I don't like pencil. I can't read it. It smears. It's one of my weird pet peeves. So please, I may not give you credit for your homework if it's in pencil. It's just too difficult. Okay, next page, class policies. Absences and tardy and makeup policies. Most of what we do in class is not reproducible. You'll see that sometimes there are notes online where you can see a lecture more than once. I'll show you how that works. And I only do those for certain lessons that I know you might benefit from having at home time and time again, but most things are not available that way. So you need to be here. It is really important. You need to be here regularly, on time. If there's a tardy problem, I've got to contact your parents about that. You need to have, your materials with you, pencils, pens, all that sort of thing. In accordance with our student handbook, you're not allowed to turn in work on days when you're late to class. I will still collect it. I will mark it up because you took the time to do it. I want to give you feedback to make sure you understand the concepts, but you will get 0 credit for any work on the days you are tardy to class. This tends to anger people, but at the same token, this will sometimes happen in college, often in college, and we need to have you here in class. We don't have a detention situation here. The only thing that we have to prevent tardies is not accepting work. Some teachers will give quizzes, and sometimes that'll happen here. You don't get to take the quiz up. Our makeup policy is in accordance with the AOC and district board policies. If you're absent when an assignment is due, you're responsible for getting it to the teacher the day you return. So if we are meeting today on Thursday and I don't see you until Tuesday and you have an assignment that is due, let's say today, Thursday, if you come to school on Friday, you need to put it in my teacher's box, and I will explain, and Ms. Simons will explain in your seminar classes where the teacher's boxes are, how to turn in an assignment. You don't want to hand it to me in the hallway, that kind of a thing. But I can check your attendance. I have access to all your attendance records. So if I know you were here on Friday and I see you here on Friday and you don't have an assignment, you don't get the whole weekend. If you don't turn in your assignment, it is a 0. I'll still give you feedback because my work is important. But in every assignment that I give you helps you with the next assignment. So kind of like a math class, if you miss some assignments in the beginning, you're not going to understand how to do math problems later in the semester. My English class is very much structured the same way. So If you're absent on Thursday and you have an assignment that was due, say, today, you come back on Friday, the very next day, you need to somehow get that assignment to me. Don't think you have until Tuesday when I see you again. This is another thing that sometimes can cause students to stumble a little bit. Essay and project deadlines, this is a little bit more flexible because you'll see as we get into the points and how much things are worth. Essays and projects are very large grades in my class. So they need to be ready at the beginning of class on the day it's due. If you are tardy, I will take 10% off of your essay, meaning the highest you can get is a 90%. And that goes if you're 30 seconds late or 10 minutes late or 30 minutes late, you need to be here. If you turn it in the next day, it's still 10%, but the next day, whether it means if I see you or not. So it's the same thing like with if you're missing a day and assignment is due, you have to turn it in the next day. So again, if your essay is due today and you turn it in tomorrow, you have 10% off. If you turn it in to me on Tuesday, you have Friday 10%, Monday 10%, and then it came in on Tuesday. So you're getting 20%. The highest you can get is an 80%, which is a B minus. So really keep this in mind. I'll go over that later. This is not something you need to be concerned with right away. Homework. Homework assignments are announced in class. They're posted on the class website. I'll show you the website. You're going to have an assignment interacting with my website. It is very important. It is something that helps students tremendously. So make sure you're looking at that often. And if there's anything ever incorrect on the website, please contact me through the email. I'll give you the school email. And let me know, because sometimes something slips by me and I want my website to be correct because a lot of people use it and reference it. Okay, non-class items. Students must not take out cell phones, music players, all that kind of stuff. Any kind of electronic devices. You're not doing your makeup. You're not reading magazines. Okay, cell phones are not to be used during class. The biggest problem with this is the parents, actually, because the parents want to get a hold of students. Oh, I can't pick you up after school. There's a family emergency. Please have a conversation with your parents about this. It's really important because you can cause distraction and alarm in the classroom. I had a situation once where a parent needed to get a hold of a student, family member was ill, and student picks up the phone against my wishes and raises alarm in the class. I have an injured family member. I need to go. Everyone felt bad. It was just really uncomfortable all around. So we are at a small school. Please have a conversation with your parents. Give them the school phone number. Have them put it in their cell phones. If the parent calls the front office will call the classroom. It's all of about 5 seconds to get you to the phone, and nobody is disrupted by the process. So please do not use your cell phones in class. Do not be texting your parents. Tell them you cannot take calls. If we're taking a test, I collect cell phones. Everybody has to give me cell phones for tests and quizzes and exams and such. Quality of work. This is going to be a little confusing. Again, the blue or the black ink. It says here, use MLA format. Everything must be typed. Typed are for projects and essays only. And MLA format, you don't know what that is. You do not need to worry about it the first few assignments until I show you what it is. So please don't panic thinking you're going to get an incomplete or a 0. Once I teach you what it is, you'll be responsible for always putting it on every essay or major assignment. But until then, don't worry about it. There it is written for the rest of the year after you learn. Okay, grading scale. Writing in projects, extremely important. If you never turn in an essay in my class, you would have to get 100% on all your other assignments to get what grade in my class? This is for those who love math. You would get, again, if you have 100% here, and you never turn in an essay, your grade is a 60%. 60% is a D. Thank you for playing. So, every assignment is very important, especially the writing of the projects. Every assignment builds into the writing of the essay. So classwork and homework feeds into how to write an essay. Quizzes and tests are about how to write an essay. So please, please do everything in my class because every single thing is important. Okay, Grade percentage breakdown, pretty standard, 90 to 100, A, 89 to 80, and all that kind of stuff. Plagiarism and cheating. Don't ever do it. We will go over what is exactly plagiarism and what is cheating. Basically, plagiarism is copying words or ideas from someone else. And sometimes you guys accidentally work together and accidentally copy ideas, thoughts, stuff like that. So we'll go over that in detail. If you do it, whether it's intentional or unintentional, you get a 0 on the assignment, as does your cheating friend. I would not hand your assignment for anyone to, quote, look at and just let me see if I'm doing it right. You don't know what the other person is doing. Friendships can be broken on such things. So keep your assignments to yourself. If you don't understand something, email me or ask me. I am more than willing to help you with anything. There is no reason you should cheat. I don't want you to write someone else's essay for me. I want to look at your writing so I can learn what you do and help you learn to improve yourself. So do your own work, be yourself, and let me help you grow, not let me help someone else grow. So cheating and plagiarism, big deal. First time you do it, there is a report we fill out. We contact parents, we talk to you, and we also talk to your other teachers to make sure it's not happening in class. We don't put your picture on the wall. There's no wall of shame. I don't tell students, but we want to make sure that other teachers are aware so that you don't continue it in their classes, because sometimes it will start in one class and continue in another. So don't do it. It's a very, very serious offense. Okay, student responsibility and expectations. Basic rules. Be respectful to everyone at all times, especially with your language and with your behavior. Don't take someone's bag and hide it thinking it's funny. It's not. It freaks people out. They're very upset. Other things, I don't want to hear any kind of slurs, whether it's a racial slur or you're saying something like that's lame. We do have students who will be offended by such comments. I don't want to hear any slurs about that's gay, that's offensive. It offends me and everyone else, so don't do it. Be seated and ready to work with a positive attitude. And when the bell, well, we don't really have a bell chiming, but we know when we're supposed to be ready to go. If you don't have your supplies, it's really frustrating when someone doesn't have supplies and they're always borrowing pencils from you. No gum, no food, no drinks, no iPods, no cell phones. Sometimes you're running between classes, you're trying to get a quick snack. You need to eat that stuff outside. Do not walk into my class with a brand new drink or a Starbucks. You will be throwing it away immediately. Okay, gum gets under the chairs. It's a big mess. We've all had that situation where we bump the underside of our desk or chair, and now we've got goo gum all over our pant legs. It's gross. Drinks spill, food spills, we get ants, there are crumbs, people leave a mess. I will confiscate iPods, especially during tests, but definitely don't have them. You don't need them. Keep them in your bags. Okay, use them at lunch if you need to. Again, parent needs to reach you. Contact the front office. Okay. This next one, a little touchy. Dress appropriately. When you dress appropriately and conservatively, you're telling everyone you respect yourself and you respect other people. Okay, so with the hot weather, everyone needs to be fully clothed. It's very, very important. No bare shoulders, no bare tummies. Your skirts should be longer. If you put your arms down and you're standing up, they should reach your fingertips. The skirt should go as long as your fingertips. Watch your designs on school clothing. Any pictures that could be offensive. We have a lot of different races and cultures and belief systems on campus, so you don't want to offend anyone or hurt someone's feelings, just like you don't want somebody saying or doing something that hurts your feelings. So please be respectful, and ladies, please make sure that your clothing covers all of you, because even with the hot weather, it's distraction. Okay? Be prepared with all materials needed for class. Here is the school phone number. There is my extension. We have voicemail. You can get a hold of me that way. I did not put my email in this. I will just go ahead and type it in here so you can write it on your course orientation. It's sgarver at heartdistrict.org, so add that on there. And when you get your parent's signature, don't just hand them the signature sheet, let them read all of it. So they have questions, they can email me or a phone call. It's fine. I need this signature sheet. Right now, can you please print your name? If you have a pen, please do so in pen. If you only have a pencil today, it's okay. I still need to have it. Print it neatly because I'm collecting this for points. And then you sign it and date it right now. Give it to the parent or guardian, and if they want to include email or any of that kind of stuff, that would be helpful too. Okay? Excellent. So you want to put this safely in your notebook right now because you will need it. Okay, Mrs. Blake, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and putting this on pause for a second. We need to hand out the online scavenger hunt. It's the next pile of papers next to the course orientation. Okay. All right, so tonight you guys need to work on an assignment. Feel free to do this with your parents. It could help them as well. On the top of the paper, you will get a web address. It says www.academyofthecanyons.com. And if you ever get stuck, just do Google and type in Academy of the Canyons. And what I want you to do is I want you to find the class webpage and you go to Homework Gateway. I think on my handout it says Homework Portal. I'm sorry for the typo. Okay, click on that. All your class types are listed here. Some teachers do websites, some do not. I do. Click on English classes, click on Mrs. Garver, and this will be your first question. And there we are. And we have a nice welcome video. So when I'm asking you to click around, I really want you to start here. Okay, lots of cool, fun things. And I do want you to click around. I do want you to answer all of the questions. Incidentally, if you click on this, it should go to your email browser, but if not, you can always just type in an email. And some fun things here. Here's a grammar page, and that gives you lots of fun things there. There's some questions about it. You can click on the writing page, and you will find there are lots of writing tools for all the different essays that we will be doing. And finally, you want to look at your particular class for you guys, your Tuesday, Thursday, period 1. You click on your month, and this is really important because this is where you're going to have some questions as well. Obviously, I've been clicking on things, but this lets you know what we're doing today, what we're doing next class, what your homework is. It's a very useful tool, so please spend some time on this and share it with your parents. I look forward to meeting all of you next class unless I run in the door at the end of the last few minutes of this class today. Thank you for your understanding, and I hope you have a wonderful first day here at AOC.